Today we're doing a video about basic training. We're going to interview First Sergeant Caraballo and Major Hall, our ROTC gentlemen. Is it true that all of your new Army recruits have to go through basic training?
He can speak of basic training better than I could on the enlisted side. So.
Yes.
Hi.
As far as enlisted, yes, it's true. Everybody has to go through basic training. Officer, I'll let him explain the officer portion. Back in 96, after 96, they changed it and they added an extra week, integrating the kids to make sure that they know about the ethics, because a lot of unethical stuff that was done by leaders, so they know their rights about sexual abuse, physical abuse, and stuff like that. However, the purpose of basic is to make sure that the kids get, when they go through basic training, there's certain phases. The first phase is getting that trust among each other. There's a lot of pressure put to the kid, but they have to be able to trust each other. And when they put them to clean something, they can't come and exclude themselves for the group. They have to take the blame as a group because they're a team. Normally you have a platoon of 60 soldiers, and when they tell them to do something, it starts with basic cleaning. And then by the time they start going to the range and shooting, they start already trusting each other a little bit. And you're not gonna give a kid a weapon without having any trust among themselves. An example, you get trained in a foxhole with a weapon. You have certain limits that you have to cover. You cannot cross your weapon into the other person's limit because you're gonna probably shoot somebody in front of you. So you have to stay within your left limits and right limits and trust that person that's in the other foxhole beside you. And stuff like that. So all the training is done trusting not only the person but your equipment too. One of my experience that I kind of can't forget, that nobody probably can forget, is the gas chamber. When you go through the gas chamber, initially you go in there with the gas mask and you don't feel nothing. You probably feel a little burn in your skin because you go only with your protective mask. But by the time you get out of there, you're gonna have to break the seal of your mask or probably take off your mask, count off with date of birth, name, and all that, and you're gonna be sucking up some gas. So therefore, now you know that protective mask works. So in a combat area, it's zone, you're gonna know that you need to wear it because it's gonna protect it. So a lot of it, not only trusting your fellow soldier, but also trusting the equipment that you're being issued.
Well, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So you kind of covered it, but I was wondering now, what is the purpose of sending our soldiers through basic training?
The basic, every soldier in the military is trained as an infantryman, the basic infantry. Whether they're signed up for mechanic, they sign up for intelligence, the first 9 weeks of basic training in the Army is basic infantry. Learning how to throw a grenade, shoot a rifle, moving under fire. 9 days they have integrated, moving to contact, clearing a building, and all that is done because of the mission of Iraq, Afghanistan, and stuff like that. But everybody has to go to basic training. That's the main purpose, is to make sure that they get out there. Like myself, as a senior enlisted, first sergeant in the unit, my cooks was the drivers of the colonel. The mechanics, they was out there on patrol with me. I'm combat arms, but they was in patrol. So, I hate to say, but it's true. When somebody tells you you're a mechanic, you're not going to war, okay, you better get a rude awakening. Remember, you've been trained for the basic fundamentals of an infantryman. So, of course, you're gonna get trained again, but you have the capability to go out there and be an infantry, a military police, or something like that.
Well, thank you, First Sergeant. And Major, I understand that as an officer, your basic training is a little bit different than the enlisted side.
Well, what they go in West Point or ROTC, and then when they first come into the Army at Fort Sill, Fort Knox, wherever, it is assumed, like you would hope a math student would assume, that they already bring a certain amount of skill sets to the table.
Correct. Yeah.
So in other words, and I know you people have to assess that in the first 2 or 3 weeks of school. Okay,
exactly.
Maybe we need to step back a little bit and get them caught to where we think they're supposed to be, and then you move on with your block of instruction. So, like in my case, when I went to Fort Sill, Oklahoma, it's a lot of math involved with artillery, getting around to go from here to there.
Oh, projectiles.
First of all, I stink at math. That's important to understand. But again, it can't be assumed that everybody here is a math major, everybody is an electronic and an engineering major. You got your soft sciences, I'll make fun of myself. You got history, English, liberal arts. And it can't be assumed that they know have a certain skill set, certain math involved with the same subject you guys teach.
Correct.
Quick story, and I don't want to go on too long. Years ago, the Army did a study about which college majors succeeded better in flight school. what they found out was the soft majors, English, history, liberal arts, had an easier time in flight school because they didn't have the hard science intellectual ability to question what the instructors would tell them. You know, if a joker like me walked up and instructed, hey man, to make the helicopter not crash, down on your head and say Rumpelstiltskin, sure, I don't care. As long as we don't crash, I don't care.
They're not going to ask you why Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah, we don't care.
just
but
that won't crash.
Although the hard science majors, they graduated and did well, but how would that work? Because the drag and the coefficient of the air and the tail rotor and the main rotor, you know, just fly the stupid thing.
Yeah,
you know?
just Rumpelstiltskin, man.
Just do it. So what I'm saying is, you know, when you get incoming 9th grade or 10th grade, wherever it is, you hope they have a certain skill set as they come in.
Correct.
But it can't be assumed.
Correct.
So the officers, West Point, and because certain colleges prepare them a lot better than others. It's just like it is what it is. Basic, they come in off the street and they get that fire hose, right? The 9 or 10 weeks, and that's how it is. Officer side of the house, you hope they all start off from a certain level, but it can't be assumed. So they massage that a little differently, if that makes sense.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, gentlemen.
No problem. No
Thank
problem.
you so much for your time.
Yes, sir.
And I'll let you guys get back to getting ready for your recruits today.
Okie dokie.
All right.
Thank you, sir.